Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
J360 Radio.
Hello, J360 Legion. It's time for a J360 Mini Bite, hosted by J.M. Brady. And I'm your host, J.M. Brady. So, let's get into it. Man, it feels like an hour of lateness here, huh? Yeah. I know, I'm an hour late. It's almost like a running gag. It seems like the more I work on stuff, the more like I always have to make or break that time, and seemingly so, since I'm trying to do all these things for J360 TV. It's more or less a progressing battle. One way or another, I will win this thing, because right now I'm working on some tech shifting, and that means that I traded up OBS for something else. Now I still have it, mind you. But the thing about it is, there's this new thing that came out. It's called Gamecaster. And I want to give that a shot. Especially since it works so well with a lot of the stuff I got here. So I'm going to be unveiling that soon. In addition to a lot of other things. But enough about that stuff right now. We'll get back into it later because that's the talk in town. I want to know how you guys are doing. It's been a while, huh? See, you didn't get a mini bite last week. That I do remember. I remember we did a bit of a weekend test. And it went well. But I think it would probably work a little bit better for something like, say, J360 Jams. Which, by the way, it's Jams Week! Yes! This whole week starts with this show, the Mini Bites. The J-Man Show carries it along. And then whatever the hell comes out in Thursday, most likely a Power Play episode, then you have Jams going ahead with the closer. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a very nice one because we got a lot of people coming in on this particular episode. Though at the same time, I had to help people get a little pep in their step. But that's how it goes, man. Usually, when something happens in between 2 weeks and 19 was so good, it gets to that point. But this time, we are going to make sure that we drop a whole sorry. You guys are going to get spoiled by this. A whole sorry of hits thrown at you. It's going to be beautiful, man. I'm just saying it is. I'm crying on the inside, but I'm laughing on the outside. And I'm going to tell you one way or another, I'm excited about it all. Not to mention, we'll have some old friends come together. We'll have some debuts happening. This is going to be pretty nice. And not to mention all the plans I got for the J-Man Show this week. Matter of fact, we're going to try something new with that. We're going to try to do a little bit of a 2-in-1, maybe. Maybe. We'll see how that all goes down. Because one way or another, we're going to have a pretty good time with it. I'm just sitting right here thinking about that stuff right now because we're 2 episodes away from 200 on that. Oh, which, by the way, 200 is going to be a giant party if you couldn't get enough of it in Jams 20. Just wait until the J-Man Show 200. Mm-hmm. And that means that a lot of you guys that submitted me some single tracks, and I know you don't have any extra ones, you are invited for that particular episode. Yes. You see, the J-Man Show is built into any way I can make it. And as far as I'm concerned, since we're crossing milestones for these shows on in, it's a best time as ever to go ahead and just have a party about it all, All that hard work went to good use, and I think it's time that we did kind of tie our hair, let our hair down a little bit, allow ourselves to relax, prop our feet up, which is what I'm all about. Propping my feet up right now. I'm enjoying myself. This ain't like work at all. Well, at least for right now, I'd like to say. But hey, that's enough of that all sitting there and letting you guys know it's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be a very exciting party lineup ahead of us. But I do have to get back into talking about what this week's episode is about. Tech shifting. For those of you out there that still own your PS3s and your PSPs, yes, apparently Sony has caught in wind that we are still using that stuff, so they're going to be shutting down the PlayStation Network support for it in July. Yeah, one way or another, that's quite a bit of my game library there, man. I mean, as much as I like the PS4, I look at the PS5, still unavailable right now, along with the Xbox Series X. I look at those new things, and I'm like, that stuff's all right. But I was there. I was adamantly there for that PS3 run, boy. Even when it had its horrible start in the beginning, but it had one hell of a spectacular finish. I mean, like, that system alone was just... It just climbed through the whole rigors and everything else. It just gave you something exciting, you know? Just like, if you weren't excited for Killzone, you had Resistance. And then some of the Spider-Man games on there were pretty good, too. In addition to, like, the God of War games. Like, the whole God of War saga being on there was just... class. And then, of course, you know, you could always talk about Assassin's Creed. But as I talk about Spider-Man and Assassin's Creed, though, you'll realize those are multi-releases. Everybody got to enjoy them. But it's just like looking back on the PS3 sometimes. So, let's make something out of it then. I guess June will probably be PS3 month for the J360 Power Play. And that would be enjoyable, you know? Just to sit back and play all them classics over. Ah, man. And then the same thing with the PSP. Like, of course, homebrewing can kind of keep that in both consoles going, but it's just the idea of how many memories flood back on, like, what you enjoyed from that time. Especially when it was very ambitious, too. Like, dare I say, I really do like the, it's not public relations, but it's more or less like the advertisements for PS4 were cool. The advertisements for PS5 is alright. But the advertisement for PS2 all the way up to PS3, man, there's just something amazing about them. And if you don't believe me, get on YouTube, fire it up, and check out some of the old ads from back in the day. It was just like, you know, they had fun doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays, it's like, we want your money. Oh, you want to do all that cool stuff? You're going to have to pay for it. Hey, would you like that? Do you like that mod right there? Do you like that skin? Do you like all that stuff? Well, guess what? Here comes a microtransaction. You better pay for that to get a load of it. Now. Don't you get stingy with that wallet. Come on now. Be about that life. But at least then, you know, back then it was fun. It was like, yeah, I can't wait for all this excitement to come along. And then, you know, like, at that point, the console wars made a lot more sense, too. But you see, nowadays, things are so meta that it might as well just be about, like, what, it doesn't matter what system you use, just as long as you got the game and that you can go ahead and you can play and fight against each other on any sort of peripheral. You see, that's what it is now. But back in those days, you could be like, hey, screw you, Xbox user. Got my PS3. Yeah. And before you say, Jay, don't you have an Xbox 360? Mind your business. You get my meaning of that. Like, you know, some people, they had their Halo 3 and 2, and then other people had their Killzone 2 and 3. Which, by the way, R.I.P. Killzone, man. Killzone had a great thing going, and then whatever the hell the damn Shadowfall doesn't hold a candle to 3. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And I mean, when you look at 3, though, it's like, where could they go with it, especially after Halligan got gassed like it did? So, yeah. But still, at the same time, though, man, it was enjoyable for its time. Love that series. Matter of fact, they should go ahead and do, like, parallel stories about it and bring it over to the PS5. I mean, because they obviously ain't going to bring it to the PS4. And then I see, like, Square Enix is still holding on with that Avengers game that a lot of people didn't like. You know what, me? I think I had said it one time. I said, if you're a fan of the Avengers, it might be a game for you. It might be something to enjoy. But it wasn't that bad when I played it. It could have been a lot better. I mean, does it hold a candle to Marvel Ultimate Alliance? I don't think so, but it was alright. They were doing something unique with it. I'm still waiting on the Spider-Man release, but they haven't said anything on that yet. But we are going to Wakanda soon. And by the way, I do kind of have a controversial statement about Black Panther. And is it for the sake of being controversial? No. It's just for me on the outside looking in. And as I think about it as a filmmaker and all that stuff. But you know what? I don't think you're going to hear it tonight. I think I'll save it for the J-Man show. You know what I mean? Go ahead and water the palate for you. And not only that, with the way everybody's so hypersensitive, I'm going to go ahead and try to let you figure out what it is. Yeah, go on ahead. I'd like to see all theories on that. That'd be kind of interesting because if anything, what WandaVision says about your theories are they're usually crackpot and wrong. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Matter of fact, we are going to be talking about the filmmaking business for a little bit. And you may get 2 episodes in one. Yeah, I think I'm going to try something very, very experimental this time. Hey, why not? It's a tech shift, you know. I do notice that they showed like the design for the new helmet for the PS5 when it comes to like VR and stuff. I'm glad VR is getting more of a push. I really am, because it seems like it's pretty interesting, and it seems like all things are starting to shift that way. At one time in the 90s, it was kind of a passing fad, and then, you know, like some arcades had machines, but then they didn't really push it like anything. But then you got it here in the house and all, and you can do something with it like Oculus and all. Like, if anything, they're finally getting a crowd, and that's really cool, you know? As for me, myself, I would have bought it for the PS4, but I knew the PS5 was coming, and I was like, yeah, nah, I can wait. But there's still nothing that really excites me about this new gen of gaming. It really doesn't. So I'm just sitting back hanging out with the PS4 and all that stuff right now. You can go ahead and say what you want to say about it, but it's kind of a fact. I mean, not only that, I saw like a few minutes ago that GameStop had an ad around for like, we have another shipment, limited shipment of Xbox Ones and Xbox Series X, I should say, excuse me, and PS5s. And I'm like, as soon as that damn thing was lit, I know that one area of this country that I live in went ahead and bought them all out. Ain't no damn shipments here yet. And even if they are, I mean, like, just have to cool down for a little bit and wait for it. Of course, a lot of people don't have the money to spend like that right now. And as we are talking about money, I sure hope you're using your stimulus responsibly. I still got mine too. Yep. Just one way or another, you know. It's just, you don't have to go to the broke house yet. You know what I'm saying? Little things like that. One way or another, stay true to form, because right now they want your money. And you see, PlayStation Network had a pretty good deal going. I mean, all those King of Fighter games, they were just cheap. Cheap, great classics. And I bought them. Best 20 I ain't spent. Well, actually, yeah, I did spend it, but you know what I mean. Now, looking into it further, I see that Xbox is planning to change its name. It doesn't want to be Xbox Live anymore. It wants to be Xbox Network. All right? I see they're feeling really big about themselves after buying Bethesda and all. I also see that they want to go ahead and buy Discord for at least, like, what, 18 million? It must be nice to have all that money. I'm just saying, it must be. Because, you know, when you're able to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm going to buy a whole little subsidiary here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do something about this. The only problem with that is, much like how they are when they bought Skype, RIP Skype then, because it ain't going to be ran right. And then you'll probably have to go through a whole lot of hoops and ladders to get it working through your stream, kind of like they do with the party chat, which was another reason why the Power Play had a bunch of hang-ups, because of, man, for a while there, you could get me through the mic, then you could get my friends through the mic, couldn't get me through the mic, and then vice versa and all that stuff. More or less, it's battling that kind of tech issue. But at least with Discord, you know, being a third party and stuff, it sounds a lot better, and I managed to fix it. But still, at the same time, it's like, oh, here they go. But, you know, I can understand, though, you know, you buy in, you have a good couple of runs as a independent company, and then after a while, some people will be coming to look to court you and then buy you out, and then all of a sudden, your property's over there. It's kind of like Anchor and Spotify. To which, that's why one of the reasons I kind of left Anchor. Not only that, it wasn't doing anything for me, and I'm over here at home on Spreaker front, and I'm still, you know, sending my stuff over to Spotify too. Trust me when I say this. There's just things to pay attention to. And then right now, as I'm looking, I'm like, I wonder how this is going to go. But they never tell you about the other bidders that are involved in this whole thing. Is it just something between Microsoft and Discord? Is Sony going to do something? But then again, Sony just bought Evo. Which, by the way, it's funny when these companies actually buy something out. Because you got some of those people that hate the companies. Even though they may not have a legitimate reason why they hate the company, they'll go ahead and they'll say this, oh, I hate them, it should be buying up. That's kind of how businesses ran sometimes. It's not cool. I mean, we've all seen it when Disney came along and said, I'm going to claim all these companies and have you in my grips forever. I understand that. But at the same time, it just, you just see the way this stuff is going. So what's the tech shift going to be like at the end of all this? I don't know. We have to wait and see. But you still never find out. But I was on a fighting games community not too long ago, and you got to love those. They were over there talking about, like, Sony buying Evo was going to be the end of Nintendo actually being a part of the whole thing. Oh, we're going to go a little long with this one. I can go a minute longer. And I'm sitting there thinking this. That's not the way it works. They're just keeping it funded. They're the primary owner. They probably open it up for Nintendo to be there. We don't know. But if anything, if you ever sit there and feel like your life is being ran by corporations left and right to whatever the hell you invest in or enjoy or whatever, well, I'm glad you woke up. Put it that way. But hey, I'd like to cover a little bit more on this. But hey, you got the J-Man Show happening tomorrow, twice. And then you also have J360 Jams happening on Friday night. So we got a lot of things to look into, okay? I want you all to take it easy for me. This is the J-Man signing off. We'll be back on it soon enough. Peace.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.